Sanmanani, we're back in part 2. Please go check out part 1 where I was talking about the situation setup, establishment thing. Dark Canyon, Abyss, there, go YouTube, you know. All different kinds of ominous sounds in the background, water dripping in just your channel alone. You're like in some like island in the center of a whole bunch of body of water, and there's not even a single drop of water to drink, and so it's like water everywhere, not a drop to drink. And so you might as well just like die on the island because you've been marooned on it, but just your YouTube channel. I was speaking about that and how there was this girl that prophesied once upon a time over a whole bunch of people without specifically outlining, Karabo, you're the one. Anyway, and I spoke about how I find such ministries taxing in the sense that they look no different from a person that does your psychic reading or a tarot card medium or something. So I'm very like careful. I'm sketchy, like, what do you know, And I wanted to write Stephanie off, and I haven't listened to her as a result for literally something like 2 or 3 months. I haven't listened to her for those reasons. But I also spoke about how it is that I keep getting visions and dreams of Stephanie looking like the Statue of Liberty, the way she's so elevated. All right, cool beans and bananas. So God is basically like kind of vindicating her, even though I'm like, hey, you sound like Tyler Henry. You are consulting familiar spirits. You. Anyway, cool. So I went and I believed that about Stephanie, and then now as I'm sitting where I'm sitting, she popped up again looking all glorious in a vision, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with Stephanie? What am I supposed to do God with Stephanie? And then I remembered that prophecy that she gave about how it is that how it is that there are people working, for instance, at YouTube. We shall use YouTube at the present moment because that's where it is that I'm struggling, who are random rubbish, employees of organizations. They can show companies flames, guys. Hey, the next thing they selling meat at your company and the meat goes missing. Kantumuntu's got like a side piece business selling meat of your organization at his paza shop sake. Kana kwa thing you've had this poor guy go escort marore kisa ko pazen ko Pinville. Yeah, type setup thing. Like, when employees of an organization go and they use the organization as a means for not only their own financial gain but sabotage of random people. Like, imagine somebody working at MTN, Tanki-san, hey, ebe abanka aba sabotage billing because what they say, and over bill 7,000 rands every month, and so aba supercharger on everything so that you will be like drained of finances. Next thing, you take the matter up at like MTN, you rock up there in the offices on some throwing your toys out the cot. Katelemina 7,000, what nonsense is this? Only to find out that Jabu Shabalala, literally admin, like when they go and they like investigate inside your account as the complainant, and then they recognize the administrator, Jabu Shabalala was the one that hyperinflated your billing. What is this? What do they call it? When they provision, it's called provisioning. When they're provisioning your particular account to double charge or triple charge. Jabu injanyana esebenza call center, grand shop, only admin permissions. Kodwa, he's not the CEO. He doesn't get to make such a decision. And so, like the inflated bill of the complainant is because ujabu no mona of like samkelo ngaphandle la manje samkelo buzuya roller on the floor in the reception go MTN. Only to find out ukuthi uJabu, call center agent earning 7,500 rand a month, dude is nothing in comparison to the bigger, grander scheme of the organization. Kodwa umoshela omunye umntana umsebenzi, and so therefore wreaking reputational damage in the company's name. Sometimes companies have got such random bandits on the ground. As when I used to work at MTN, I don't know how many times in my 5-year tenure, the call center agent Joaquina Mahata, Maponesa, as in the Scorpions. The Scorpions rocked up and they arrested, like it was such a spectacle, as in we're thinking, let's grab some popcorn, girl, tamalata cappuccino, I will hold your seat, and you literally just watch these kids get taken out in handcuffs, one after the other, by 20 call center. What were they doing? They were they were embezzling funds, using some billing system in the call center. Abanye were taking our numbers, Rika, in order to, in this country, there was a law that was introduced that said that you have to register your cell phone number type setup thing. Rika, they would like give numbers over, like produce them in the system, the permutations that manufacture numbers in the system. They would produce them and give a whole batch of them to Pakistan. Sell all these numbers to my Pakistani mina. I will admit, I have bought a SIM card that is already pre-recard. I didn't have to give my contact details. I did not have to give my address, proof of residence, nothing. I just bought it, and the dude it was go for ways. The dude in the store, Indian man, he was like, "Don't worry, my sister, it's already recard." I was like, "Oh, you don't need my ID, you don't need my proof of residence." He was like, "It's already recard. All you need to do is just put the SIM card and then you could." I was like, "You saved me time." I lost, you know how God judged me for that? I lost that phone with that SIM card, and people already knew that number when I went to was it Vodacom or Cell C? I know it was Vodacom. When I went to Vodacom wanting to do a SIM swap, and they came out at the same number because all my people had that number. They were like, "Ma'am, we need your ID number. We need your address." I gave it to them. They were like, "Your number's not on the system," and I remembered. It was Telcom, it wasn't Vodacom. And I remembered, "Oh no, I bought this on the black market." I remember that I bought it on the black market. Anyway, yeah, no, these kids at MTN were like selling batches of cell phone numbers, permutations that were produced by the system to Mapakistani in big numbers so they won't have to recap for the sake. I mean, this is like criminal syndicates, people who want to, go unnoticed, not have to obey the law because, you don't have then on that day have to pay tax money. You don't have to, declare anything. You can do random shiga, international businesses, drug trafficking, money laundering. And these kids were like, the numbers and they got freaking caught, of course. Like, if you're gonna have like a batch of numbers produced by the system, because how at some point it was 081, 083, 073, and then they started becoming 06 because the permutations were running out. When you start to notice that there was this like batches of permutations of numbers just missing off the system, you don't know where they are, they're ghostly, you're going to start investigating who is the administrator, who is linked to these numbers missing. And there were like these kids that popped up, call center agents that, Pinky Shabalala, Brenda Mazibugo, John Van Niekerk, and these like random buffoons got busted. Next thing, one Ganamaskop. I'm a boots. I'm a hand. I'm a soul. Excel 17. In a meeting when we can crash up, you're actually about to be late for meeting here because we're not Ocean's 11. Gone wrong. Let's say Ocean's 13 go wrong. Like you spoof say Ocean's 11, like Scary Movie 2, Maya Malen Wayans. Not so smooth criminal operation, and they get arrested. 23. I'm like, your life is gone. Ngoba you were trying to make some extra money on the side by giving business MTN to Ama Pakistani that are gonna go and like launder my cell phone numbers. Anyway, stuff like this. I'm sorry I entered into that storytelling. I only wanted to do one part. Marakarabo can speak for like ever, ne? I gave you that story. Sa MTN in Jefela Holo Talo sa Grand Chapo. What's about to happen at YouTube? And these people are going to be like, yo, and like, no, son, you go to work in the morning, or receptioning, you be thinking they're delivering flowers to you because you're in a new relationship. Next thing you be orange and a new black. Like, that's what's good. Yeah, something like that happens so many times. Like, so I don't know. I bet I can count it on my one hand how many times at MTN we like had left our offices because there was a new movie being shot in the reception. Let's move on to the next one.